Hi Capricorn, welcome to your week ahead tarot with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and it resonates, hit that subscribe button. If you are already a continued subby, you know I love you for it. With that said, if you would like to book your personal reading with me, you can do so on the website address below. And before we start, as always, I would like to bless my deck of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So this week, for your key to the week, you have the Star card, right? This is a great card to have as a key to the week because it opens everything up. This is a week where you can get messages of hope. It's a week where you can get, you could start to feel the unwind of everything. Now, this year has been no joke for Capricorns this year. I mean, it's been no joke for any of us really, but it's been no joke for Capricorns. It's been no joke for Aquarians. It's been no joke for Cancerians either. There's a few specific signs that have really had it hard this year, and yours is one of them. And I feel like because we're getting out of a lot of your transits, even though there's still a few happening at the moment, I feel like this energy is starting to lift now. It's like all of that time that you spent effectively paying your dues is now starting to lighten. The Star card always brings you hope. It brings you joy. It brings you ambition. It brings you peace and calm after the storm, right? Remember, this is the card that follows the Tower. So whenever you see this card, it's kind of like, okay, the worst of it is done. This is that moment where you can take that sort of sigh of relief and go, oh, okay, you know what, it was challenging, it was tough, but I managed to get past it. It's also this card rules Aquarius, and very often I see this as connecting to the wider world stage. So this could be a week where you decide, you know what, I'm finally ready to launch my online business. This could be a week where you say to yourself, actually, you know what, I've come up with the idea that I have, the big idea that's going to connect me to other people, that's going to see me on the wider world stage serving humanity in some respect. And I really like this for you. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out. For your actions and options, you have the Two of Swords. It looks like you're fighting yourself this week, right? Now, you've got the Star card there. For those of you that are single, I'm speaking specifically to you right now. It feels to me like there's a person in your midst that's maybe like a friend or has been a friend, and it kind of feels like you're fighting with yourself over whether you should take that step. Now, it's always a worrying thing to do, right? Because, in the back of your mind, you always think like, oh, if we go there and it all goes tits up, we might ruin a friendship here. However, if you never take that leap of faith, if you never take that jump, if you never step forward into the future, and try something on for size, so to speak, you're never going to know. And that's why I say to you, this week, it looks like you're kind of battling yourself or wrestling with yourself over whether you should go down a certain route with a certain person. I've got the Two of Swords here as your actions and options, right? So I'm going to say this. If your intuition says you should give it a go, even if your logical Capricornian mind is saying no, go with it, right? I always trust my intuition, and I've only ever got myself into trouble when I stopped trusting it or when I ignored it. I've always trusted it, but there have been times in my life that I look back on and I think, yeah, you know what, you ignored that, and look at it, you paid the price for it. So this is a week to trust that, right? Just see where it takes you. You may be very pleasantly surprised. Now, on the other side of this as well, a lot of you could be starting to look at the place of work this week and starting to say, right, okay, I'm not entirely sure that, and this isn't to say that you're rebelling, it's more a case of you looking at things and saying, you know what, the rules and regulations that you're putting forward either don't make sense or they're impinging too far on what feels like, a freedom or just put it that way. For your communications and conversations, you have the Justice card. So this week, there are going to be communications. Now, usually I would say letters, but this isn't a letter. There's specifically an email that's coming through to you this week that's likely to be about work. It's probably going to be something that sees you at odds with your company or the people that you work with or for. This could be a week where maybe you decide to take some sort of action. Remember, Mars is retrograde at the moment, so launching legal proceedings at this moment in time is definitely not a good idea. If somebody launches them against you, well, this is just you playing into that energy, right? This is you using the energy to your best advantage. Let them, make the first move in any respect like that. But yeah, this week it does look like you are getting some sort of correspondence come through, which is, I don't think it's necessarily going to be a challenge. I just think it's going to see you kind of saying to yourself, right, you know what? I've now made my final decision. This doesn't work for me anymore. And it's interesting because, gosh, Capricorns will stay in a single job for like years upon years upon years. So I know that this won't be a decision that any of you are reaching lightly. For your money and materials, you have the King of Cups, right? So this is great. It looks like this week as well, you're going to be starting to go through the budget and maybe say to yourself, right, where is it emotional spending or buying or purchasing versus what I actually want and need? Maybe you're trying to figure out the two this week. It could be as well that an opportunity to make more money comes from an outside source, maybe from a friend, maybe from a family member, maybe something that's been suggested to you previously that you thought, you know what, I'm not really sure I want to do that. This week it looks like you might be reconsidering an offer or an opportunity that was on the table some time ago. For your physical health and vitality, it looks like this week you are paying, I will say this week pay attention to whatever you're drinking. So if you drink a lot of coffee, maybe this is a week to find some way to curb it or to replace at least one or two of those cups with, I don't know, some fruit tea or some herb tea. Just something to think about. If you are a drinker, like as in alcohol, maybe this is a week where, you know what, one less glass of wine a night, one less beer a night. This is something just for you to, it's kind of like you're just getting a check on it now so that it doesn't become a problem later. And then finally, for your home and environment, this next to the Justice card, because you've got the Star card there as well, it kind of feels for me like you're going to be hearing from somebody either at a distance or overseas to you, or this could be as well for some of you, it's a possibility, just a small possibility. It could be a clash with a neighbour, just so you know, something that gets really out of hand and over something really bloody trivial as well. For your love and relations, you have the Death card right underneath the Justice card, right underneath the Star card. When it comes to family and familial ties, it looks like this week you could be breaking ties with somebody or certainly highlighting where they need to pull their socks up. It's not an easy conversation to have with family because they're family, right? Nobody knows how to press your buttons more. For those of you that are single, it could be that you're meeting a Scorpio, because you've got the King of Cups there. So it could be this week that you're meeting a Scorpio person, maybe interacting with somebody. It looks like there could be a lot of desire there, a lot of sexual energy for sure. I'm just not sure that you're getting the full picture or the full story. So just be cautious of that. For those of you that are partnered or in relationships, this could be a week where your partner is hearing of somebody having bad health, and this could be somebody overseas or at a distance from you. All right, so just a little heads up there. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have an amazing week. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up for you. Take care, and I'll see you soon.